We got 6 school days till your EOC. It's a week from tomorrow. So, getting pretty close. One of the things notice we definitely need to be looking at parallel perpendicular lines. Probably don't have like necessarily a ton on your EOC with that. Maybe like, 1 or 2 problems. But it's something it seems like some of y'all been having a little issues with maybe. So first thing we always got to do, figure out the slope. So we got to figure out the slope of the line that they gave us to start with. So in this case, we have a standard form equation here. When they give us a standard form equation, it's the opposite of A over B to find the slope. So we've got 3 over 1, opposite 3 over 1, so our slope would be -3. We've got a parallel line, so what does it mean when it's parallel? Same slope. So that means our new line is still going to have a slope of -3. Once we have our slope, we still need to find the y-intercept. That's where we use the ordered pair they give us. And we're going to want to do y minus mx. Where we get that from is if we are doing like our slope-intercept form where it equals y equals mx plus b. B is our y-intercept. What we could do is we could plug the numbers into here and solve the equation, but basically all we're doing is moving that mx to the other side by subtracting it from each side. We get the y equals, or the y minus mx, and that's what b equals. So that's what we're doing there. So our y value, in this case, is -2, minus m's our slope. That was -3. X value, 4 in this case. We do our multiplication. So this is on the inactive. You got to make sure you do your multiplication first. So you got -2 minus -3 times 4 is -12. Got to be careful with your negatives on this, especially with the minus and negative like this one. Do same, change. So first stays the same, change addition, change the sign of the second number. Follow your rules. We do the signs are different. Subtract, use sign of the bigger number, so that's a +10. Then we just put it all together for our function or equation. So we got y equals -3x plus 10. Okay? Any questions on that? If it were multiple choice, parallel means our coefficients are going to look the same or something equivalent. So if it's not 3x plus y, it could be like 6x plus 2y kind of thing. You see what I mean by like equivalent, like multiplied by, like up by the same amount. You still would have to find the y-intercept, but the y-intercept is going to be our constant divided by our y coefficient, or c divided by b. So in this case, it's 10 divided by 1, so it would still work out to that same number. Okay? Any questions on that? This one a little bit more complicated. We got line AB going through a point there, or 2 points there. We need a line that is perpendicular to it and through the point 4, 1. So y'all give this one a try. Got a little extra step to it. First you got to find the slope on line AB. All right, who thinks I got it? Yeah, y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. All right, so the first thing, you got to find our slope on AB. So slope is change in y over change in x. The y values are going down 6, x values going down 3. If you really wanted, you could change the order on the points, and then they're both going up. It doesn't really matter which order you go on, as long as you go the same direction each time. But either way, we got a slope of 2. Perpendicular, yeah, we flip it, change the sign. So that means our slope for our line is going to be negative 1/2. We use our ordered pair and do y minus mx. So our y value is 1 minus 1/2 our x value. 1 minus half of 4 is 2. But it's a negative times a positive, so that makes a negative 2. Same, change, change. That equals 3. So when we put those together, we got y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. Any questions on that one? I said the biggest issue most of the time on these is when you get to like part right here, especially with negatives, just careful working with those and your subtraction. All right, find the 10th term in that sequence. All right, what you got? 68's correct. All right, your first term. Sequence like this one, they give you the first term. First term is 5. Tells you your pattern. Basically, we're adding 7 each time. So we got 5 plus 7 gives you 12, 19, 26, 33, 40, 47, 54, 61, 68. All it is going through your process, counting them out, or adding them up correctly. Usually on those types of problems, if it does ask you for like the 10th term or something like that, the trickiest part is just keeping track of what term number you're on. It's not anything typically confusing or difficult to do. Just be aware, pay attention to what you're doing. All right, got to solve for R. So, what do I need to do? How do I get R by itself? Move everything else to the other side. Yeah, no kidding. How? Divide. All right, so everything else is being multiplied, right? So since everything's being multiplied, we're dividing by all the other stuff. We're going to do the easy parts first, or what I think is the easier parts. The pi and the height, okay? So if I divide by pi and the height, I divide by pi and the height. Cancels, cancels. Everybody go with that part. So now I have volume divided by pi and height. equals 1/3 times radius squared. Oh, this is the volume. This is how you find the volume of a cone. So, all right, now I got a 1/3. What do we do with that? Multiply by 3 would work, yeah. When you got a fraction and you move a fraction from one side to the other, basically what happens with the fraction is you end up flipping it. So I got a 1/3. The 3's on the bottom, the 1's on the top. So when I move it to the other side, I'm going to put a 3 on top. I would put a 1 on the bottom. The 1 on the bottom doesn't really matter, though. All right. If I had a 2/3, I would put a 2 on the bottom, 3 on the top. If it was like a 3/4, it would be 3 on the bottom, 4 on the top when I move it from one side to the other. Because what we're doing is like, now who said it? Oh, like Kevin said, we're dividing, right? And when we divide by a fraction, we multiply by the reciprocal, right? We flip it. Keep, change, flip, right? So I'm going to have 3 on top. I said the 1 on the bottom doesn't really make a huge difference. And now I've got that. All right, how do I get rid of my exponent? Square root. All right, so that's the kind of tricky part, or the part we sometimes forget. But I feel like answer choices would kind of flash that memory there. So we got square root of 3 times the volume divided by pi times the height. All right, it's just a matter of going through it kind of step by step, doing the opposite. You want to divide when you're multiplying, flip those fractions. If you got any exponents, you're taking square roots on those. Okay? Any questions there? That's another one of those you got maybe 1 or 2 at most on your EOC.